Hi, I hope you all have a fantastic day. This is Dr. Nazim Poor. Welcome to our new YouTube channel for coaching for emotional intelligence. The main theme of this concept and new channel is providing simple answer to complex questions. And we want to teach how we can live with emotional intelligence. Basically, it's emotionally intelligent living. That's the main opportunity that we want to provide for all of us that we are having access to this YouTube channel. The opportunity is that everybody knows, and we all know, that emotion is a major aspect of our life. Everything is about emotions and feelings. How we feel is really count by end of the day. Logic is important, yes. We definitely come with the IQ. We're going to explain about differences between IQ and EQ. But yes, we come to this planet with a set level of IQ. But again, fortunately, thankfully, we can definitely adjust and manage our EQ, which is emotional intelligence. And that's the reason that logic later on, we want to learn about the logical side of our life. Yes, through the school, through many other ways of teaching and learning, we can learn how to be logical and rational. But again, of course, emotional intelligence is a skill that majority of us, we don't really have a quick access to that. That's the reason we need to really learn it, and we have the intention that to become emotionally intelligent. What is emotion? How we can become emotionally intelligent? Emotions, of course, we all know that we have positive emotions, we have negative emotions. Positive emotion, that's the one that we are striving to feel good. Feeling good is the number one goal that we have. We want to do whatever that we do, and the goal is that to feel good. Yes, there's a natural way of feeling good, and there are negative way of feeling good. If natural way of feeling good, for example, if you go for a walk and exercise, you naturally feel good. If somebody get drunk and get high, definitely, of course, they might feel good, but that's not a natural feeling, and it's not going to last for long. And definitely there's a side effect and damages that can be done to the body and emotion. So, but again, all of us are seeking for comfort and definitely feeling that we can enjoy the life, and we can call it happiness and be happy and be cheerful. Negative emotions, there are so many of them. The life that we're living, because of insecurity that we all have, we are going to feel definitely negative about many, many different aspects of our life. Sadness, sorrow, anger, frustration, of course, resentment, jealousy, control. Yes, egoistic kind of a personality that some of us we have, a level of ego. And that ego definitely, it kind of fakely makes us feel good, but really is not a best way to feel good. Definitely when we are confident and feeling more confident about things that we do, then we are feeling much better about our own self. So emotional intelligence is about learning about our own emotion and learning how to manage every single emotion. Definitely emotion that they are considered being negative emotions. Number two aspect of emotional intelligence is that how we're going to learn and understand other people's emotions, and how we're going to relate to other people's emotion. When you learn about your own emotions, that's the one thing, which is very important. And then again, after that, we learn about our own emotions. We need to really learn about other people's emotion. For example, in a family setting, in a relationship that we are, could be in the relationship with the children, with the spouse, with the family, with the mom, dad, any of those people that we are close to. When we really communicate with them, we need to pause, we need to relax, we need to listen. Listening is so important. And we need to really find the best answer and best way we can create a win-win situations between us and our spouse, or maybe even children. For that reason, majority of people, they want to create that win-win situation, but because we don't have access to a lot of information which is in our unconscious mind. We're going to talk about that quickly. We are going to the direction that we don't make ourselves feel good, and definitely we don't make themselves feel good. And that's the reason that what we do, because of our ego, we blame it on other people. We accuse them and blame them. we don't take responsibility that, well, it might be our fault that we didn't create that win-win situation through learning of emotional intelligence skills. I'm going to pause here and definitely go and distinguish between IQ and EQ. IQ represents individual ability of logical reasoning. When we want to be logical and rational, the level of our IQ is going to be the indicator. It's going to be so important. And we all know that we measure IQ based on people's achievement in a school and academic setting. But then again, of course, EQ, emotional intelligence, is a skill, as we discussed, how we're going to recognize our own emotions, how we're going to manage our own emotions, and of course, how we're going to relate and understand others people's emotions. And in a work setting, for example, emotional intelligence becomes so important, especially in a position of leadership. We want to make sure that we understand the people that they're working under our leadership. And as we know each one of the people that consider our staff, what kind of emotion they have, what kind of concern they have, become much, much easier for us to lead the team that we are leading. In this section, I want to also work on and talk about what are the obstacles to become emotionally intelligent. The obstacle to become emotionally intelligent, one of the major one is ego. And of course, it's pretty much known to all of us. Ego, we can define it in many different ways. But ego is a fake side of, our personality that give us that higher level of, indication of who we are. And it's not its real and true side of our personality. But people who have higher level of insecurity, they are having a higher level of tendency to become more egoistic and exaggerate who they are, exaggerate the capacity, capabilities, and skills and knowledge. And that's the one obstacle. When you have that high level of ego, definitely you are not going to be as emotionally intelligent as you can be, because you're constantly attempting to be better and show yourself that you're better and higher. And with that, of course, if somebody encounter with you or discuss something that is opposing your view and your opinion, you're not going to like it. You're not going to be happy about that. And that's the reason that we easily can get mad and defensive and angry. So that's the one indication that we are carrying a high level of ego, and that's definitely is going to be an obstacle to being emotionally intelligent. Another major concept that is kind of attached to ego, and the Swedish psychiatrist Carl Jung named that side, which is the dark side of our personality, called it shadow personality. We all have the shadow personality. I talk about unconscious mind versus conscious mind. And we said that in our unconscious mind, there are so many elements that are good and positive, ideas and beliefs, and there's so many things that have been kind of comes from the wounded side of our childhood. And those wounded side of our childhood definitely are going to be the obstacle to our emotional intelligence, and they are hitting. We don't know much about it unless we go and talk about it to somebody, or unless we sit down and maybe go through this childhood and feel it and sense it and understand it. Other than that, it's going to be there. That's the reason that they're saying that, of course, psychologists and psychiatrists believe that, and even the biologists, definitely they came to this notion and understanding that 90% of what we do in everyday life are unconscious. 10% are conscious. When we say this is who I am, really, we don't really know that side of the dark side of our personality. And when we say this is who I am, we don't want to really emphasize on that or insist on that, because this is not the side that is dark, we call it shadow side. You might not even like it if you know it. You might defend it, but it's not really what you are going to like it when you are honest to yourself. So lesson number one in this aspect is that we want to really understand the good side of our personality, that we want to be dynamic, proactive, and of course, honest and decent and with integrity and definitely with fairness and all those combination of things that we want to have in our personality. But again, in order to continue having that side of a personality coming out and really become the representation of who we are, we need to recognize and understand the shadow part of our personality. And that's something that majority of people, they don't want to even go there. They are in denial. And that shadow part is in hiding. Let it come out and let it be known to you. And one of the major steps of becoming more emotionally intelligent is that to recognize that shadow side. For example, that can be controlling personality. That can be, of course, anger. That can be different jealousy, and being highly competitive outside of a normal range. And those are the aspects of the personality that we think this is who I am. But really, in our solitude, in our time that we have into ourselves, we're not happy about those shadow side of our personality. We even defend it sometimes, or the worst, we can blame it on other people. And when we blame it on other people, we continue carrying that shadow, and we're even afraid of that coming out of our shadow, understand our own shadow personality, or recognize it. And that's the reason that people go through the life for years and years and years, and they carry that shadow side of a personality, and other people who know them, they'll tell them that, hey, you have this problem, you have the anger issue, you have the resentment, you have this hidden silent treatment. When you want to deal with people, instead of communicating, you go into your silent. You use silent treatment. You disconnect. And you always justify your disconnection. When people justify their silent treatment and disconnection, it's as bad as somebody who's getting angry. So we want to really recognize either side of those shadow side of a personality. It could come in, maybe outbursts and anger, resentment, or it can come in a more of a depression, and of course that's the one side of it. And another side of it is that you can use the silent treatment and go into your own loneliness and solitude, supposedly, and disconnect. Quick disconnection is another shadow sign of the shadow personality. So it's the best thing that we really come in touch with those sides of our own personality. We all know about them. It's not that we don't know about those shadow sides. We need to recognize it, understand it, and acknowledge it, and align with it. When we align with our shadow side of personality, then we're going to have much easier time to manage it, to control it, and don't let it to come out when we are in an uncomfortable position. So that's going to be so important, that we need to go through the steps of managing, understanding the shadow side, and that's the kind of obstacle that we need to remove it in order to be able to fundamentally change our way of thinking and fundamentally change the way we feel. And that's the kind of opening the door to becoming much more emotionally intelligent. So that's going to be a theme of ongoing discussion that we're going to have. This is going to be a weekly discussion, and we're going to take this topic to family setting, to relationships, to business setting. Of course, we're going to focus on personal growth, including how we're going to improve our self-confidence, communication skills, and we're going to really take it to every aspect of life and apply the emotional intelligence skills, and definitely our life is going to be much more fulfilled and spiritually sounding. Have a wonderful moment, and looking forward to see you again.